In a bustling railway station in Japan, where crowds of commuters hurried past every day, there stood a dog with soulful brown eyes and an unwavering gaze fixed on the station's entrance. For more than 7 years, rain or shine, through the heat of summer and the cold winds of winter, this dog waited. He sat patiently, always hopeful, his heart set on the possibility that the familiar figure he longed for would emerge once again from the throngs of travelers. This is the remarkable story of Hachiko, the dog whose loyalty has become a symbol of devotion known throughout the world. Hachiko's life began like that of many puppies in the countryside in 1923. Born to a family of purebred Akitas, he was an energetic pup with a thick cream-colored coat and a gentle disposition. Japanese professor Hidesaburo Ueno, a scholar at Tokyo Imperial University, had longed for a loyal companion and was immediately drawn to Hachiko's calm and affectionate nature. When Ueno adopted the little dog and brought him to the city, the profound bond that would later capture the hearts of millions was still just beginning to form. As the days turned into weeks, Ueno and Hachiko became inseparable. Each morning, the professor would leave for work from Shibuya Station. Hachiko would accompany him, trotting faithfully at his side. Just outside the station, the professor would pat his loyal companion on the head, utter a few kind words, and promise to return. Hachiko would sit, watching as his beloved owner vanished into the bustling crowds. But it wasn't a farewell for long. Each afternoon, as the sun began to dip low, Hachiko returned to the station, blending into the stream of waiting families and friends. When the professor stepped off the train, Hachiko's tail would wag with excitement, and together they would walk home, a picture of unwavering devotion. Their daily ritual fascinated the station's staff and regular commuters. Hachiko, with his dignified stature and reserved manner, quickly became a fixture at Shibuya. Passers-by greeted him with smiles. Children would offer him treats. Shopkeepers patted his head. In the eyes of those who witnessed their exchanges, the connection between man and dog shone as a testament to loyalty and love. Life, however, is unpredictable, and tragedy often comes when it is least expected. On a warm afternoon in May of 1925, Professor Ueno suffered a sudden cerebral hemorrhage while at work and passed away without warning. He never returned to Shibuya Station. That day, as the train doors opened and crowds poured onto the platform, Hachiko waited. When he did not see the familiar face, he lingered, refusing to move, his ears pricking up at every distant footstep. For many, the end of a beloved owner's life marks the close of a chapter for a pet. But for Hachiko, separation was unthinkable. The people who took in the heartbroken dog soon realized he would not stay. He escaped again and again, returning to the place where his hope burned brightest, Shibuya Station. There, he became part of the scenery, a silent sentinel amidst the ever-changing river of people. Seasons passed, winter draped the city in snow, but Hachiko's presence remained steadfast, undaunted by the biting cold. The rainy season came, soaking the pavement and chilling him to the bone. Still he waited. Summer heat shimmered on the tracks, and Hachiko panted in the shade, eyes always on the entrance, never giving up. At first, those who noticed him might have dismissed the idea that a dog could wait for so long. But as the months stretched into years, stories spread throughout Tokyo. Locals, moved by his silent determination, brought him food and sheltered him from storms. Some saw him as a symbol of hope. Others, as a living reminder of the loyalty all creatures are capable of showing. Newspapers began to report on the faithful dog at Shibuya. Hachiko's quiet vigil inspired Japanese society, and his story spread from mouth to mouth, growing ever more poignant with each retelling. What compelled Hachiko to remain, day after day, year after year? It can be hard to fathom the mind of a dog, but those who cared for him offered their theories. Some said it was love, the deep and irreplaceable bond that forms between human and animal, stronger than any barrier of time or fate. Others saw in Hachiko the embodiment of the Japanese ideal of giri, or duty, a virtue prized in the culture's ancient tales. Perhaps at the heart of it all was simply hope. Each new day, Hachiko waited, eyes bright with the belief that he might see his lost friend once more. As the years went by, the crowds at Shibuya Station changed, trains grew faster, and the city evolved, but Hachiko remained. When passers-by asked about the dog, those who knew his story would nod with understanding, explaining that he was the professor's dog and that he had never forgotten his master. Little by little, Hachiko became a fixture in the collective imagination. In a time marked by rapid modernization and shifting traditions, his loyalty seemed timeless, drawing people in and giving them a reason to pause, reflect, and dream. Some days, the weather was kind. Mild winds, soft sunlight, the scent of cherry blossoms drifting on the air. On others, the sky was gray, the streets slick with rain, or the chills so sharp that breath hung in visible clouds. Through it all, Hachiko endured. He grew older, his muzzle whitened, his steps slowed, his eyes clouded with age, but still he persisted in his purpose. In March of 1935, nearly a decade after his vigil began, Hachiko lay down for the last time. People who had watched him for years gathered at the station, paying their respects to the faithful dog who had spent a lifetime waiting. His passing sparked an outpouring of emotion. The city mourned, newspapers wrote tributes, artists sketched his likeness, striving to capture in line and color the quiet dignity of a creature whose loyalty had become legend. But Hachiko's story did not end with his death. In the months that followed, a bronze statue was erected outside Shibuya Station, depicting him sitting, ears perked and tail curled, gazing with quiet expectation. The statue became a beloved landmark in Tokyo, a place where travelers and tourists paused to remember the little dog who had waited so patiently for his master. To this day, Hachiko's statue stands as a symbol of unconditional love and devotion. Every year, on the anniversary of his death, people gather to honor his memory, laying flowers by his statue, telling his story to new generations, and reminding themselves what it means to be loyal. For young lovers, Hachiko's watchfulness is an emblem of fidelity. For families, his patience is an example of dedication. For all who struggle with loss, his hope shines as a reminder that love endures even after those we cherish have gone. Hachiko's tale has inspired countless books, films, and artworks, traversing cultures and languages. Reaching audiences far beyond the streets of Tokyo, the story resonates because it touches something deep within us, the desire to be remembered, the wish to be loved, and the recognition that true loyalty is rare and precious. Many have asked, could there ever be a more loyal companion than Hachiko? His years of waiting speak not just to his bond with Professor Ueno, but to the extraordinary devotion that animals can show their humans. In a world that often moves quickly and forgets easily, Hachiko reminds us that love's truest measure is not counted in days or years, but in the steadfastness of the heart. Wherever stories of companionship and devotion are told, Hachiko's legacy lives on. His life invites us to pause, to remember, and to marvel at the capacity for loyalty within us all. For Hachiko waited, for 7 long years, never knowing if the one he loved would return, but never once letting go of hope. And in that patience, he became more than just a dog waiting at a station. He became a symbol for Tokyo, for Japan, and for the world, of the enduring power of love and devotion.